Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool, and this is Gems of War. And today I have 15 teams for ya, all of which have 0 mythics, all of which that can do difficulty 12 explore, all of which that can do PvP, like at least one trophy. So all of these teams, 15 teams, can get difficulty 12 Explorer done and can do at least one trophy PvP. So really good teams here with 0 mythics on them, all the way from like legendaries down to commons on the team, so you'll see the whole spectrum. But starting here, I gotta get going because they're all like 1 minute long each team. We have Flamifer, Yao, Queen Titania, and Chada Summer. So it's the old Yao, Queen Titania team. They're two of the best legendaries in the game. You cast the Chada Summer because it's empowered. Hopefully you have alignment. You get a bunch of red. Then you either cast your Flamifer or your Yao if you have alignment, and then your Queen Titania gets an extra turn if there's 13 or more red on the board, and there almost always is because the Flamifer and the Yao and the Chada Summer are all making red. Sunspear class, Maze Banner, let's go. One of the best teams in the game without a mythic on it. Alright, here's the second team out of 15 teams. We have Rowan. Now there's many iterations of this. There's some that do have, like the Mirage Queen. I could have put the Mirage Queen on here. I don't know why I didn't do that. I was thinking, like, you know, it's no mythics, and I was thinking Mirage Queen. I made a mistake, but we could put Mirage Queen on here for sure. I'm using Shield of Urskaya, Rowan, Leprechaun, but you could definitely put Mirage Queen. I just had a brain fart. So Rowan boosts off of armor. And she can definitely do difficulty 12 Explorer if you boost her up enough. So use Guard Medals, use your Shield of Urskaya, you cast it on the Rowan a couple times maybe. You can use the Mirage Queen, you cast the Leprechaun a couple times. Pretty much you have to either cast the Rowan a couple times or cast the shield on Rowan a couple times, and then you can one-shot the entire other team. Either way, it's pretty quick, and it uses like low rarity troops, and a weapon you can get pretty early in the game from Sentinel class. So, Rowan, any kind of iteration of it, Golden Call, Clockwork Sphinx, the Mirage Queen, Leprechaun, like there's a bunch of Rowan teams. But Rowan, as long as you're boosting up her armor in the battle, can definitely get difficulty 12 Explorer done. Here's the third one. This is the shortest, so I need to hurry up with this one. We have Rope Dart, Divine Ishbala, Keelan, Moon Rabbit. Super duper awesome loopy team. It put in work so fast, I barely had time to record. It's freaking awesome. So, you know, that Keelan makes a bunch of red, and it turns brown to skulls. That Divine Ishbala turns green to yellow, and turns red to skulls. It's just like peanut butter and jelly. That Moon Rabbit, empowered, turns blue to yellow, gets the whole team going. Rope Dart has an extra turn on it. You can pull somebody to the front. It's a freaking awesome team. Like, I played with 15 teams today, and that was one of my favorites right there, the Divine Ishbala Keelan team. So, I recommend it for sure. And it was one of the fastest, too. Alright, here's another one. Kind of oldie but a goodie. Kind of like the one we just saw, but a slightly different. We have Mountain Crusher, Glaceon, Apothecary, and King Bloodhammer. So kind of like Divine Ishbala Keelan, peanut butter and jelly type of deal. We got Glaceon, we got King Bloodhammer. Glaceon turns yellow to blue and red to Doomskull. So if you can get alignment with him and, you know, cast them, get an extra turn, then there's a ton of blue on the board for Bloodhammer. Then you cast Bloodhammer, he gets alignment, he does a ton of damage with Doomskulls. Then hopefully Glaceon's up again, you do it again, you do it again, you do it again. And if you don't have alignment, you just cast the Mountain Crusher, or you do something with the Apothecary. I recommend changing either green or yellow. Don't ever change red, don't ever change blue, because you need those colors for your Doomskulls. So if you're using your Apothecary, yellow is a great, well, some of them, you know, yellow, green, stuff like that, purple, those are good colors to change. You don't want to, just don't change blue, don't change red. Mountain Crusher whenever you don't have alignment, pretty much. But yeah, Mountain Crusher, Glaceon, Apothecary, King Bloodhammer, Titan class. Alright, here is the next team. I don't even know which one it is. 1, 2, 3. Is this the 4th team out of 15? Something like that. I can definitely check. It's our 5th team. Here's our 5th team. So, this team will never lose. It might be the slowest team on this whole... Out of all these 15 teams, this could be the slowest team on here. My daughter was watching it, and she was like, finally, when I won. But, you get the most gold, It's super duper safe. It has tons of summons. You'll never lose. So basically, key team, gold farming team, egg thief team. Is it the fastest? No. But it's very safe, and you get tons of gold for using it. You cast the greed, get your gold way up, then you cast your egg thief over and over and over until you get your skeleton key. Then you cast your skeleton key. It's probably not going to get a kill on difficulty 12, but you can take some skulls, you can cast it a couple times. If you lose your first troop, you got egg thief just bringing in. So you're never going to lose or anything, but it may be one of the slowest teams on here. If Defiance was one of the fastest, then the key team is definitely one of the slowest, but you know, yin and yang. It's one of the slowest, but you get the most gold, and it's super safe. So definitely recommend that team for difficulty 12 Explorer and PvP and stuff. Alright, here's the next team. You can't have a no mythic list of teams that are the best without mythics, without putting at least one Tesla team on there. Now, I don't have, like, you know, I'm not the biggest Tesla guy out there, but I know she's good, and you do some iteration of this team right here. So I went with Shield of Erskaya, Tesla, Holy Saint Astra. So I'm pretty sure it's Tesla, Holy Saint Astra. Because 50% start for human, Tesla's a human. You might be able to use a different weapon, you might be able to use a different class. Like, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I went with Plague Lord, so I was a human with Rock Solid. And, you know, I went with Shield of Erskaya so I could boost up armor and stuff and hit harder. So it's like kind of like Rowan, but it's true damage. So you're boosting up your armor, but you're doing true damage. So Tesla's really awesome. Shield of Erskaya, Tesla, Holy Saint Astra. I went Meteor Banner and Plague Lord. And that will work on difficulty 12 Explorer and PvP and everything. And in Delves, too. Alright, here we have the good old Gob Truffle team. If you don't want to lose, and you don't want it to be as slow as the key team, you want it a little bit faster, then here's the team for you. This thing's loopy, and it'll never lose, I promise you. You got Forest Troll, King Gob Truffle, Doomed Glaive. What I'm saying is, it will never lose where, you know, in PvP, if you're doing 3 trophy, with this team, it might lose, because there's people out there specifically countering you. But if you're playing against the AI, like the computer AI, where they're not specifically countering you, this team will never lose. So, you might even be able to use it for autoplay. But you have Forest Troll, King Gob Truffle, Doomed Glaive. You get up the Forest Troll, you cast it, you make a ton of green. You prioritize King Gob Truffle after that. Anytime you have it up, you cast it because you get an extra turn. You make a bunch of green and brown. You get yourself back up, blah, blah, blah. You don't ever cast the Doomed Glaive unless you're finishing them off or they're submerged. And you always prioritize that King Gob Truffle if you have it up. So super loopy. Use Titan or Warden. Use Nishas with an Anu. Alright, here's the next team. I've definitely lost track of how many teams we got here so far, but here's another one kind of similar to the King Gob Truffle team, but using 2 different troops. Actually, you know, 3, 4 different troops. It's a whole different team, but it's kind of similar. We have Mountain Crusher, Queen Titania, Venoxia, Leprechaun. This is another one, just like Tesla, where I don't use Venoxia too much, so there might be like a slight tweak. Something that's, you know, somebody out there might have like a slightly better weapon, a slightly different thing besides Leprechaun. Maybe they use a different class, but the main core of the team is the Queen Beatrix and the Venoxia, so something like that. I got Mountain Crusher, Queen Beatrix, Venoxia, Leprechaun. We got Spider Banner, Archer class, and it was also one of the fastest. So if Divine Keelan and that team right there, Venoxia, Queen Beatrix, both got their battles done pretty fast. Here's another one of the slower ones, but also it's epic and under, and you know, gargoyles are pretty safe. They're really strong, and you can get them in the underworld, so they're super easy to get. But we have Mountain Crusher, Gargoyle. There's a couple iterations of this team too. You could use Stone Slicer. You could use Harpy Mage instead of 3 gargoyles. So you can make a completely different team if you'd like. You could do Stone Slicer, Gargoyle, Harpy Mage. Or you could do Stone Slicer, Gargoyle, or you could do Mountain Crusher, Gargoyle, Harpy Mage. Some, you know, combination of those troops. Stone Slicer or Mountain Crusher, and then either 3 gargoyles or throw a Harpy Mage on the bottom somewhere. She's a second turn in power pretty much if you have potions, and she's pretty good. So Gargoyles hit really hard. They're kind of like Infernus, but not as strong. Kind of like Ketris, but not as strong. But really good troop. If it's a red or brown restriction or something, or you're just trying to get done with difficulty 12 Explorer and you don't like any of these other teams. Alright, here is the lowest level team that I had. Okay, so I'm thinking about using this team on my new account playthrough to get through stuff like this. So we have Black Manacles, which is your purple and brown mastery. So you'll see on my new account playthrough, we're picking brown every time we see it. Purple is our third most that we pick, you know. We go brown, then red, then purple. So that's because we're trying to get Black Manacles and weapons like Black Manacles. The Wall of Bones is a common troop, so hopefully you have it. It's the lowest rarity there is. And you put 3 of them on the team, you cast it, it gets up the next one. You cast it, it gets up the next one. You cast it, it gets up the Black Manacles. You cast the Black Manacles, you hope for a Devour. If you don't get it, you start over. You cast the Wall of Bones, it gets up the next one. You cast the Wall of Bones, it gets up the next one. You cast the Wall of Bones, it gets up the Black Manacles. You cast the Black Manacles, you do it again. You know what I'm saying? And all the while, your Wall of Bones is gaining attack and armor. And you can also take skulls while you're doing that. So sometimes, like I used a Medal of Anu and 2 Nishas, but ever so often, like the very first cast of the Wall of Bones won't get the cycle started. So sometimes I like getting up like 2 Wall of Bones, but as long as you if you cast the Wall of Bones and it gets up the next one, and then you cast it and then it gets up the next one, or it gets up the Black Manacles, then you know you're doing it right. You'll get into this groove where you don't even need to take gems off the board, and they're just like, you know, you just cast Wall of Bones, cast Wall of Bones, cast Black Manacles, cast Wall of Bones, cast Wall of Bones, cast Wall of Bones, cast Black Manacles, cast Wall of Bones, cast Wall of Bones. You know what I'm saying? And you just they keep getting each other up. They keep getting stronger. They keep casting, having chances at Devours. Slayer banner, Necromancer class. That's the lowest level team on this entire video. But we have even more for you now. I think that was the 10th team right there. So here's number 11. We have Triple Finesse Nimbus Bow. Stormcaller class. We have the double yellow, purple, or green banner. You know the deal. We're gonna finish this video off with a bunch of Guardian teams. So they all do kind of the same thing for different colors. So we're using Stormcaller class to make ourselves a Strix because Finesse's third trait, if you match 4 or 5 gem matches, which the Nimbus Bow is going to do, Nimbus Bow casts and it makes a bunch of yellow and blue, and based on like Strix. So you'll get a bunch of extra turns, you'll get a bunch of stats from that third trait, 12 to every stat every time you get an extra turn, and it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Finesse will give 6 mana to all other Strix allies when there's a Storm active. There's always a Storm active with Stormcaller. It does double damage versus yellow enemies, so take it to a yellow kingdom. Any kingdom where you would get yellow trait stones, that's a yellow kingdom. So White Helm, Drifting Sands, stuff like that, places like that, where there's a lot of yellow enemies. That way you can do double damage to them with Finesse. Whatever color that the Guardian is, that's the color that it does double damage to. So then you can go into your inventory, pick the pure color trait stone for whatever color that is. So with Ferocity, for example, or let's use Persistence for doing Persistence right now. I would take Persistence to a green kingdom. Whatever kingdom has pure green trait stone. So I'd go to my inventory, I would search for the pure green trait stone, arcane trait stone. I would click on it, it would take me to a kingdom where I could get those, and that's normally the kingdom with the most green enemies. So same thing here with Persistence, except for it has a chance to Devour. Instead of giving 6 mana to all its allies, it has a chance to Devour. So pretty cool using Lupine's Edge. Using Archer class, there's no Wargear or Construct class yet, so we have to use Archer class, but still works really good. It's fun. You can get Devours. It's kind of like a Finesse team, but with Devours. Alright, here's my favorite Guardian team. We have Triple Ferocity Rage Reaver. We're using Shaman class, Meteor Banner, 2 Nisha medals and an Anu. No, 3 Nisha medals, because we got a 50% start because we are Shaman class. So that gives all Taurus 50%. So our whole team starts with 50% mana. which is one of the advantages of the Ferocity team. Ferocity's red, so it's going to do double damage versus red. So you want to take it somewhere like Pride Lands or, you know, a red kingdom if you're doing difficulty 12. These are super easy to get, these Guardians. You get into a guild, you get guild seals, and they come out of guild seal chests as common troops. And they'll keep giving them to you until you don't need them anymore. So pretty cool. Ferocity's thing is, you know, it hits hard. It's a shaman. It's a 50% start. The Rage Reaver makes a bunch of red on the board based on like Taurus allies or whatever. It's pretty much finesse and persistence. You know, the Guardians, they all do the same thing. That third trait, 12 to all skills on 4 or 5 gym match. Rage Reaver makes a ton of only red, which is what we need. So we get a ton of 4 or 5 gym matches. Meteor Banner, Shaman class, 50% start. Hits really hard against red enemies. Skulls too, don't forget that. Skulls will hit double damage on red enemies as well. Alright, here's our second to last team. Team number 14. 14 teams, 15 teams for difficulty 12 Explorer, PvP, wherever you want to go. These are all no mythics. No mythics on these teams at all. Have you seen a mythic yet? There's been no mythics. So we have triple Cunning Stone Slicer. This one's one of the most clunky Guardian teams now that I've used all of them today. This one of the most clunky. I think the Bear might be better than this, because the Bear actually has a class and a weapon and everything that goes perfectly with it. This thing, the weapon's not perfect, the class isn't perfect, but it still kind of works. Triple Cunning Stone Slicer. The Stone Slicer does make purple. The class doesn't match up too great, but, you know, it's the same deal here. You know, you're all Raksha or something. You're making purple with the weapon. The Cunnings do double damage to purple. It gets the 12 stats on 4 or 5 gym match. It's the same thing, just not as good as Finesse or Ferocity or Persistence or Defiance, because now that I've used all of them, the worst one's definitely the blue one. But the purple, the Cunning, might be the second worst now that I've used them all. Because I kind of like Defiance right here. This is the last team, team number 15. No mythics at all on this entire video. Defiance. So it's the brown Guardian. Same deal, you want to have it fully traded. You want those 12 to all stats when you match 4 or 5 gym matches. The weapon we're using is called Axe of the North. The class that we're using is Sentinel to make ourselves Urska. So our whole team is Urska. So the weapon does more gem spawn so that we get all those stats, plus 12 to all stats. Defiance like enrages itself or something. That's its little thing it does. Double damage to brown with Skulls and Spell, and that plus 12 to all stats for 4 or 5 gym match. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. That's 15 freaking teams with no mythics on them that can definitely do difficulty 12 Explore, PvP, and, you know, everything. The Underworld. But anyway, like, share, subscribe, consider joining. Helps a lot. Tell your good about the channel, comment below, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.